ever be worthy of love? Or am I too blind to see what I'm made of and what it is I need? Am I enough? It's all I
chances I gave up, all the wasted time when I was stuck. The pain was all too much, still I'm holding on inside. I'm messed up, I'm toxic, I'm dragging you down. Can you still love me? Can you still love? I'm still here, I'm drowning, I'm lost now without you. I'm dead in the water, I'm not dead in your soul. I'm barely alive, I miss you all of the time. I'm floating but I'm barely alive. I'm dead in the water, I'm dead, will you pull me
Evening all, welcome back to the Pretend Pundits podcast, episode 27. Aidan, Andy, Sean. A happy, smiley me today after the massive FA Cup win against Brighton, which I was honestly, I'm not going to swear this early into the pod, but let's just say a lot of my organs fell out of another part of my body during that penalty shootout. Boys, how are we feeling today?
I'm pretty good, mate. I'm good. Sorry, I was trying to unmute my mic there because I'm talking to the other chat. Yeah, no, really good. Not bad weekend for me. Not bad. What about yourself?
Yeah. After today, mate, nothing else matters. United didn't ruin my weekend, and we move on to another cup final. Sean, how about you, mate? How are you feeling?
I'm holding up under the strain, mate. Today it was nice to see Spurs ship 5 goals in 21 minutes. So yeah, that kind of brought me back from the depths of depression. So
every cloud, as they say.
Every cloud.
Joe has said Weghorst isn't a goat, more of a giraffe on too much ketamine. Okay, I'll have you know that boy is an absolute icon today. He's going up there with the likes of Igalo, kissing the ball, giving it the kiss of death before March steps up for his penalty, running the length of the pitch to knee slide in front of the fans. What a fucking hero. Weghorst, you just can't hate him. I'm sorry. He's just one of them characters. You can't hate him. He's so shit, but you just can't hate him, honestly. I've never been so nervous in my life seeing him step up for a penalty. Ben Ray, welcome in, dude. Ben Ray is forever blowing bubbles and drinking wine and Thatcher's. Ben's been on it today because, unfortunately, in the shadows of that 6-1 win by Newcastle, West Ham blew Bournemouth away for 4-0.
Yeah, amazing.
Massive result for them boys.
Massive result, say, for both ends, for Bournemouth's hopes of staying up and West Ham's hopes of staying up. But yeah, a huge blow.
Yeah.
Especially after midweek where West Ham played in Europa League. They scored 4 then as well. And Sean shared with us one of the most interesting stats I've seen before this weekend's games. It was 30 goals in 12 games in Europe and 29 in all the... No, what was it? 29 goals in all 30 Premier League games? Something mental like that.
Yeah.
So
Scored more in 12 games in the Europa League, haven't they, than the whole Premier League campaign.
that's it.
Madness.
And as you see in the thumbnail, Ben, there's a little ode to you, my mate. I got 4 nails with his scorpion kick because that was a lovely goal. It wasn't the best scorpion kick I've ever seen, but it was a scorpion kick nonetheless.
Yeah.
Adam Wilcox, Man United. Yes, mate. Yes, you know it's true.
You're well cozy.
Welcome indeed. Thank you for coming in. If you are joining us this early on already, if you could do us a massive favour, drop a like on the live stream. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already. Help us get to our goal of 200 subscribers. That'd be very lovely. Let's get straight into it then. I've already spoken and covered enough about I need to. The FA Cup. There's only one game to talk about, really, isn't there? Man City beating Sheffield United. Business as usual. I think that nothing else was expected, really.
You see that Mahrez goal where he just ran straight through the centre of the pitch and nobody challenged him. He just slotted it home.
Yeah.
That is, if you've ever played FIFA, that's the goal that you give to your opponents to let him go a couple of goals up first.
I didn't actually see it.
Yeah, it was
But
a
it sounds
Mahrez
like
hat-trick,
typical
wasn't
Sheffield
it?
United defending.
Yeah, hat-trick for Mahrez, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did Haaland give Mahrez the ball for the penalty? Or was he just taken off the penalty? I saw in the commentary on Sky Sports, I don't know if it was given to him or Haaland just didn't take the penalty because of the one he missed.
I didn't see anything leading up to it, but I just saw that Mahrez already had the ball in his hands, so I don't know whether there was a discussion beforehand, but either way, you can't really argue with his ability. I think it was a great pen as well. Yeah, that was that, and it's Man City in the final at the start of today. We put up a little prediction over on the TikTok. Aidan had us to get pipped in extra time, which I thought was entirely possible. I had us down as a narrow win. I didn't see a 0-0 coming, though. I had to say I thought there'd definitely be goals in this team. What did you make of the game, Sean? I know you watched it.
I thought it was great. I thought Brighton were very worth the semi-final. I thought they could have gone through. Man United weren't really at the races for a very long period of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some soft decisions by the referee. But yeah, I think probably lucky from a Man United perspective to get to penalties, but took your chances, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, the referee, I wouldn't say there was soft decision as such. He had an absolute stinker of a game. I think this is where referees are really important. They sort of dictate the game quite early on. And Craig Pawson has a reputation for letting a lot of things go anyway. You know, he doesn't like to get his cards out early, and I think he managed the game well in terms of bookings, not letting the game get away from him, but he made some really poor decisions. He let far too much go for me, in my opinion, for both sides. Do you know what I mean? And I think there was a couple of contentious ones, but overall, I think the result was fair, that like it went to a penalty shootout, because realistically, a penalty shootout is 50-50. You can make an argument that we had it harder with shooting in front of the Brighton fans and going second. I think they're the two very small advantages that you get in a penalty shootout, and for Brighton to have both of them and for us to overcome it, I think that's good. But yeah, it's a coin flip. Both teams deserving. I think a special credit has to go to Man United for the first 10 minutes of that second half, just soaking up that pressure, you know, coming back from it. And I think Brighton were very, very unlucky. There was 2 clear chances that I remember. One for Undav, where his touch got away from him and Dalot cleared it. And Matoma, exactly the same. His touch got away from it. He followed through into De Gea and just sort of scuffed his chance. So if anyone had a chance to nick it, as you rightly thought, it would have been Brighton. Did you manage to catch much of the game, Aidan?
No, unfortunately I didn't, mate. So I'm going to have to watch the highlights and I'll give you both my thoughts on the performances.
Yeah, I think I was never in doubt like about our attack. It was just our defence that was just very makeshift. You've got a left back at centre back and a right back at left back. You know, it was all a bit over the place. But Dallow's proved he can do that job. And when he had to switch over to the right, when Malacia come on and Wan-Bissaka come off, he did well, adapting from one side to the other straight away. Clever interceptions. It was a really good game. Both teams, I think, made hard work of it. They'll both be annoyed that it went the distance for fatigue-wise. And yeah, a really good game. I'm really happy with the result. To be honest, I really wouldn't have been too disappointed had we have lost that game because it would have been deserved either way, I think, honestly. So
yeah.
Just to show my L ball knowledge, who signed Dallo? Was it Jose Mourinho or was it? Have you had him since before that?
Mate, I'm a United fan, and that's L-ball knowledge for me too.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you that.
They didn't fancy him. He went out on loan to AC Milan, and I think it was. It could have been as early as Van Gaal, but I think it was Mourinho.
I was thinking it was Van Gaal, but I don't know.
No, I think it was Mourinho, and for some reason they didn't fancy him and shipped him out on loan. And I always thought that he's not a bad player. He's certainly not one of our worst ones. But
I've always thought he's very versatile. He is the Emmanuel Aboué of the Manchester United team.
Wow.
This is his redemption arc.
Wilco says, Brighton opened us up so many times with one through ball. The middle, it was annoying at times. Yeah, I think Matoma had very, as much as people talk about Matoma and his dribbling and his university degree in dribbling or whatever, his off-the-ball runs were absolutely phenomenal as well. He's a very complete winger, I think. It was Mourinho that signed Dallo. United We Chant, welcome into the chat. Thank you very much for that. So there you go. Mourinho knows his stuff. Yeah, that's it. That's it done then. The first ever Manchester Derby FA Cup final on the cards, which I couldn't believe myself. And I believe that was also the first penalty shootout to ever go to sudden death in an FA Cup semi-final.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I did hear that, but that is amazing.
Yeah. The negatives to take away, I don't like to be that guy and take away negatives from things like this, but De Gea, I don't have any confidence in De Gea. And I said from the start of the penalty shootout that we're going to be relying on a player to miss a penalty rather than De Gea save one. I don't know what it is. I mean, whose penalty? There was someone who took a penalty that very nearly got saved. I think it was Sabitza's penalty, wasn't it? That he got a hand to?
Against Sanchez. Yeah, Sanchez got a hand. Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. De Gea's shot stopping is fantastic, but in a penalty shootout, he gives me the absolute GBs, honestly. Really good penalties for what they were as well.
Because was it Duncan Webster? They just slotted it to the right, and I know it is a gamble which way he went, but I think he just overcommitted, went too early, and had he have not won that, and that'll be another penalty shootout that De Gea hasn't saved a single shot in.
Yeah, they were very savable penalties. You're right.
Absolutely. I think the writing's probably on the wall for De Gea. I think these are his wobbly moments now. Yeah, it'd be great to keep him, but is he a 500 grand a week goalkeeper?
Yeah.
I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, there's certainly credit to him being replaced. I think my biggest worry as well, not just in the penalty shootout, but obviously with the game in Sevilla, he dropped one of the worst games of his Man United career. And for me, De Gea isn't the sort of person to have an off game. He'll have a bad patch. So I was worried that this might be the start of a bad patch for De Gea, but he's made a great account for himself today, and he's not the keeper that we want in the long term. It seems like playing out from the back and coming for crosses and for set pieces. He doesn't fill me with confidence, but I still think he's a great keeper. Nonetheless, he's not got the most clean sheets for no reason,
Yeah.
United We Chant on the way back from the game. Very good. I hope you had an amazing day out, mate. Brilliant. Are you going to the final as well? Let us know. Rumour has it De Gea is still in goal at Wembley trying to save a pen. Well, he'll be there a long time. He dived to his right. Yeah, I thought that as well, Wilco. He dived to his right every single time. I think
he did.
Eventually, you're going to get it right one time, right?
You'd like to think so.
But yeah, so we move on to the final. It's in June as well, which that's later than usual, isn't it? I think that's the very last game of the season. 6th of June or something.
That's very
Wow.
late.
Yeah, very late. It normally
That's into
wraps up in May,
pre-season.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I honestly have no confidence that we can win it at all. But who knows? With fitness, I don't think we're going to have the strongest team. But you just never know what's going to happen, and we'll get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, as they say.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a prediction on it today, or do you want to leave it to closer to the time?
I think we need to see who we've got available at the time. You know,
I was going to say you got Man City.
yeah. As it stands, I don't. Honestly, even with our strongest team, you've got to fancy Man City in the form they're in. No one's really stopping them this season, are they? So
No.
but someone's won a Wembley Cup final this season, and someone hasn't out of them two teams. That's all I'm going to say. Skills, welcome in, dude. Forgot you can't comment on the TV, but hi, I'm here. Welcome in, Skills. Great to have you in as always. 3rd of June, that's right. Yeah, 3rd of June is the final, so I'll be there for that, certainly. I might even be out in the pub, who knows?
Oh.
Right, moving on then. Premier League review. Now, the Premier League wasn't high on my priority list this weekend. Didn't really see much going on. I'm going to throw over to you, Aidan, to start off with. Oh no, Sean, you was even earlier, Friday night.
Oh,
he thought he was going to get away with one there. Arsenal 3, Southampton 3. Talk to me about your feelings during the game, after the game.
Okay, so on the build up to the game, there's something about it. I mean, Aidan will know what I'm talking about here. When you play a lot of Football Manager, and you are first in the league, you're at home, all of the odds are on your side, but you're playing bottom of the league. Every single time you get turned over. I don't know what it is, but you always get turned over.
Literally Matrix, mate.
I did a prediction just before, and I said maybe 2-1, maybe 3-1, but I wasn't feeling it. I really didn't feel it. Something about Southampton. I remember, I can't remember. It was one of their right backs, Cuco Martinez or something like that. He scored an absolute powerhouse shot against us a few years ago. Southampton seemed to be a bit of a bogey team. We didn't win at their place earlier in the season. They held us to a draw.
Okay.
But when we started off, we got a bit shaky early on. I think it was 20 seconds into it, 30 seconds into it tops. And Ramsdale, who's been so reliant this season, has tried to make a pass to Zinchenko that was kind of occupying that DM role. Fucked it up. And then they scored straight away. So that really set the tone. Shook us. I don't know if you saw the game, but Zinchenko after the second goal grabbed everybody for a team huddle. I saw that. I really, really hate that. There's one thing being like supportive of your teammates, but it just looks desperate. And you 2-0 down in, what was it, 7 minutes or 8 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Get your shit together. You know what you're supposed to do. Play your game normally.
Yeah.
We should be able to beat Southampton.
Maybe Perisic could have done the same today, and it might have prevented a bloodbath.
Nah, let's enjoy that one.
Dave Earl, welcome in, dude. If it's the Dave Earl that I know and love, he'll be absolutely buzzing as a Newcastle fan in the chat. Welcome in, dude. Yeah, so, I completely get that, mate. The 2-0 probably set the tone, but fucking hell, that was some comeback there. You have to give them that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's just a bit of... It was a bit of naivety early on to think that we can play out. Southampton are known as a high attacking, pressing team. So to try and play such a stupid pass early on and to set the tone in that manner, yeah. There was occasions that when we brought it back to 3-3. I mean, at 3-1, I thought the game was dead and buried. The game was just drifting out. And then when it was 3-2, I was like, okay, I'm interested. 3-3, I'm like, I'm fucking interested. And then there was a moment, again, you guys probably saw it on Sky Sports, where Thomas Partey's got an edge of the box. And Odegaard to his right, Ben White out to his further right.
Yeah.
And that's what we were doing all game. We were just rotating it out, putting it to the wingers, putting a cross into the box.
Odegaard weren't happy, was he?
Oh, I don't think there was a single happy person in the stadium apart from the Southampton corner, but he just spanked it. And that is a Thomas Partey special. He always does that. He's maybe come off for him once or twice, but yeah, couple of penalty shouts late on, half-hearted, nothing in it for me. But yeah, Southampton deserved it, and probably deserved more out of it, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I think
on the balance of the game, maybe, but from that comeback, you had 8 minutes added time as well. I think you could have very easily won that game as well. I think in the end, I think it was just that unfortunate mistake can cost you 2 massive points. Yeah. And this is what we're going to be looking at the end of the season, isn't it? If you're beaten to the league by 1 point, you're going to be going, fucking hell, that one incident or this one. And if you win it by 1 point, you're going to go, well, at least we come back and got it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, these last 3 games are winnable games for us. We should have beaten Liverpool being 2-0 up. We should have beaten West Ham being 2-0 up. We should have beaten Southampton just on statures of the 2 clubs, but we've gone full Muppet moment.
Yeah.
And now these are the 3 games that I was shitting myself over: City, Newcastle, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think the title's over. The game is over. What's that thing from Come Dine With Me? Enjoy your winnings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy the money, Jane. Hope it makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a sad little life you have, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy your 5 titles out of 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bald fraud.
I think you'll be well up for the City game, but of course, Man City are Man City. You're looking at Newcastle today and loving life that they're absolutely slapping Spurs, but then you're thinking, oh wait, we've got to go there soon at the same time. So yeah, I get that. It must be hard for you to take. Wilco has asked a great question, and this is one that got floated around this week. Rio Ferdinand discussed it. A lot of people discussed it. If Arsenal finish second, United win the cup as well as finishing third, who's had a better season in your opinion?
I think I've done this on live, haven't I? Well, I genuinely believe that Man United would have had a better season.
Yeah.
You can't argue that.
The whole thing is all about winning trophies. And for Man United to win a trophy, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. He was interested to see your answer, so he was probably expecting a bit more from you there. Zinchenko will get found out he's no better at defending than Trent is, from Joe. That's an interesting one.
I will agree. He should have been on for the corner, the one that they scored, and he got megged by, was it Salah or was it Trent at Liverpool? I agree. The reason he's in the team, I think he's actually better as a midfielder than he is a left back, but we're trying to have an inverted left back. When Xhaka's out, for me personally, I would have played Zinchenko in the midfield and I would have put Tierney out on left back. That's just for me, because I think Fabio Vieira is woefully underprepared for the Premier League. He's too lightweight. I think he's lacking a lot of ideas. So if we go to if we go to City and we don't have Xhaka, that's what I would do. I'd put Zinchenko in midfield and Kieran Tierney out left back.
Yeah, since you mentioned it and we recorded that video and you said about him playing in that midfield role, I've obviously noticed it a little bit more than before. And he does play that role well, but I think he still needs to fill in at left back, and then someone needs to cover him potentially as he comes back. But yeah, I don't know. This is where the mentality comes in. Can he rile up the team? Can he show them what it really takes to get the team over the line? Yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see. And United, we're in the chat again saying Arsenal haven't got the right mentality to win a league at the moment. You have to be confident and bullish. The players and fans have talked themselves out of it. That's a big statement. What do you think about that, Aidan? Do you think Arsenal? Here's perhaps a better question for you. I've heard a lot of people say this. If Arsenal don't win the league this season, and they're not going to, this is their best chance and they've potentially blown it. Do you agree with that? Or do you think that they can kick on should they finish second?
I don't think you can say that they won't win it again if they don't win it this season, because Arteta's building a squad and is building a good squad compared to what you've seen at Arsenal over the past couple of years. No, I just think, like, you look at Arsenal, they're scoring goals. They're scoring a lot of goals. Man City have only scored more goals purely because they've got that broken fucker up front. So I think if Arsenal don't win it this season, see Sean laughing, and they
nerf Haaland.
Yeah, if they carry on building this squad, signing some big players, I don't see why they can't challenge again next season. There's no reason why they can't.
Hmm.
So I think you can't really say that they won't win it. I understand maybe some of the players there might not have the right mentality, the winning mentality. That's why they brought in Zinchenko and Jesus. But then you can't just rely on two players who have won a title to carry the whole team with that mentality.
You're right.
Do you know what I mean? You need to drive that into your team. You want to push that into everyone to have that mentality. And if Arteta could do that, which I think he can, then I don't see why Arsenal can't go again next season if they bottle it. Well, if they haven't already. Sorry, Sean. Do you know what I mean? I don't see why next season they can't go and try again and put in a good fight.
Yeah.
Because they've not looked woeful this season, have they? They've looked like a completely different side. They've looked unreal. But just these past couple of games, they've slipped up.
I think we don't have a plan B, and if we had a big target man up front, we'd probably have something that in these difficult situations just to lump the ball long.
Yeah, offer different options.
If we had a target man, I would have against Southampton, for example. I have no doubt that we would have won that game at the end.
That's what it is, just depth.
Yeah,
you need that depth. You don't have that depth at the minute.
No,
which is unfortunate because who do you bring on for Jesus?
Eddie Nketiah, and then I've got
Eddie Nketiah, who he had a good spell, and then other than that, he's not really done a great deal. You take off one of your wingers for Reece Nelson. Let's be honest, he's not title challenging player, is he? I know he's only young, but so Saka's world class. That's the difference. You need to have that depth. Look, Man City, they can take off Phil Foden and bring on Jack Grealish. Take off Grealish, put on Foden, Mahrez. Do you know what I mean? Alvarez for Haaland. It's mental. They've got that depth. This is why they push on the way they do.
I don't know if I'd call Saka world class just yet, but I get where you're coming from. He's arguably the best winger in the league, and
he's performing at a high fucking level.
Yeah, I agree. Arsenal are not incapable of going on and kicking on from this, because whether they win the league or not, it's a lesson learned, and it'll be just testing the resilience of the players. Can they get back up from this defeat, knowing that they've had it in their hands and it's been given away? But I don't think they'll be too disappointed knowing that Man City are just a winning machine, whether you like it or not. They've that they've always got that in them. People called Gary Neville crazy for saying that City are going to win the league when Arsenal had 10 points clear, but it's just the proof's in the pudding. Man City can just put a run of wins together and just capitalise on the points that you've lost.
Yeah. They did it before a couple of seasons ago with Liverpool. They closed them down to 1 point? Something stupid. You can't write City off because they just they'll turn it on out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just minimal effort.
And it's crazy.
If Arsenal do manage to beat Man City on Wednesday, and I really don't think that they will, I strongly believe that Man City will absolutely spank us and we will capitulate. I think it could be 4 or 5-0. I genuinely think that they will kick our backside. But if by some minor miracle that we do manage to win, we'll just bottle it up the next week. We'll lose to Newcastle. That's the kind of team that we're currently playing. We have a system that works when we have all of our players available. When we don't have our players available, we then suffer. And Rob Holding can't play out from the back, and he drives me fucking mental.
Wilco says you need to get yourself a big target man like Wout. You keep your hands off him, I'll tell you right now.
We don't want that fucking donkey. Giraffe on ketamine.
Yeah, you don't deserve that donkey. No, he's what is he? The B-Tech? No, what was he? Arthritis Haaland. Do you not think, aside from the Arsenal game, do you not think Man City have got a loss in them? Let me just run you through their fixtures. They've got Fulham away, West Ham at home, Leeds at home, Everton away, Chelsea at home, Brighton and Brentford away, last 2 games of the season. Is that an omen? Man United's opening 2 games of the season, Brighton, Brentford. Man City's last 2 games, Brighton, Brentford.
I think Brentford and Brighton maybe, but
I
really don't see anything. I don't see a big upset coming in this current form.
Chelsea could maybe get a draw out of them, maybe at a push.
They've got Chelsea.
They are absolutely woeful.
They've got Chelsea following their home leg to Real Madrid, which is the second leg, and Everton in between the 2 legs. So the Champions League could massively swing this for Man City.
Yeah.
As long as they don't get this doors shut by the first leg away to Madrid, I can't see that happening. I'd absolutely love Madrid to blow them away. Other than that, yeah, let's just see what happens. I think we'll leave Sean alone for now. He's had to endure the last 3 games, so that's well enough.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal for you, Sean, at the minute.
Suffering.
Talk to us about Villa, Aidan. Talk to us about the game. 1-1, so undefeated still, but obviously probably disappointed not to go away with 3 points. But
yeah, disappointed, mate. But again, Brentford away, it's never going to be an easy game, is it?
Yeah. Some teams go there and lose 4-0, but you know,
exactly,
they would do that.
You know what I mean? We can't all go to Brentford away and get a point. No, it was never going to be a tough game. Obviously, I know we're on this amazing run of form at the minute, and at the back of my mind, I'm constantly just thinking it's going to end at some point. It's got to end at some point. And then obviously, I was watching. I saw the game. I was watching the commentary because that's all I could really watch. And I saw Tony's goal, poor from Ashley Young defending at the back post. He was too busy ball watching.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I wouldn't say we played too bad. I saw the highlights, and again, we just looked threatening. And it's nice for a change where Villa don't concede these late goals. We score them, which is nice. We did concede one, but it was ruled for offside, so that doesn't count. But yeah, no, it's a good time to be a Villa fan, but I don't know. These next couple of games, Europe, I keep looking at the table and I keep seeing, I think, is it Brighton? They've got 2 games in hand over us.
I think they've got 3 games in hand over you now.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Just to make life better,
Liverpool,
what is it? Yeah,
Liverpool
you've played
have got
32
one,
and Brighton have played 29.
Yeah, so there's these games in the hand where we can see us obviously drop down the league table, but I mean, no one was expecting Europe. I'd be happy if we got it, but yeah, I think this weekend we're unbeaten. We're unbeaten. We've turned up.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a point away at Brentford. Some people can't manage that, and we can. So I'm faithful for Europe still. I still think we're going to get that top 6 spot, top 7 spot.
Okay, that'll be
100%.
interesting to see. We've got someone in the chat called Put Your Nan in the Bin. But so they say, yo, it's Aki. Welcome in, Aki. Thank you for coming in. Are that you in from the TikTok live?
Yeah, Purple Aki from TikTok.
Ooh,
thank you very much, mate.
Aki, welcome in. Drop a like on the podcast if you will, my friend. Who's going down this season? So this has been discussed quite a little bit. Let's just pull up the Prem table. Just to very quickly summarise the other fixtures. Fulham beating Leeds at home 2-1. Leicester pulling out a win with big old Dean Smith. Roy Hodgson drops his 100% win record with a 0-0 at Everton. And Liverpool take the lead 3 times in a game to beat Forest 3-2. So an opportunity missed maybe for Forest there, but one of their goals was lucky what I saw. Nothing crazy. No big changes in the positions in the league. Leicester dragged themselves out, but not by much, on 28 points. Forest continue their terrible form with 4 losses on the bounce. Arsenal, as you can see, still at the top there. 2 games in hand for Man City. 3 draws in a row. Man United, a couple of games in hand. Brighton with them 3 games in hand over Villa. Liverpool getting some sort of results together, maybe putting themselves in for the European spots there as well. Brentford slowly slipping away from it. No wins in the last 5. A draw, 3 losses and another draw. Do you think that's deserved? Do you think maybe they were just shooting a bit too high? Because we had this, didn't we? We've always discussed this, what would you call them? The Brighton, Fulham and Brentford trio, shooting a bit higher than perhaps predicted.
Overachievers.
Yeah. Do you still see that? Do you think that Brighton have come out as head and shoulders above the other 2 now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They took a massive dip in form.
So if we argue that now, obviously, the FA Cup spot, that means there's going to be 6 places in the Europa League now instead of 5. So 6th place guarantees Europa, 7th is Conference League. Who do you think out of the current top 8 misses out?
Spurs.
How did I know you was going to say that?
Um,
Genuinely, I think Spurs. I'm
Yeah.
not even trying to banter. I think Brighton have got 3 games in hand on Spurs. They're not givens, but they're only 4 points behind.
Yeah.
Liverpool have got a game in hand on them. They're 3 points behind.
yeah,
Villa
we're
are
2
in good
points.
form. Spurs seem to be falling apart. I love it. I'm here to see it.
I mean, I'd like it to be Tottenham. I don't want it to be Villa. It's just them games in hand that Brighton have got are making me a bit nervous. And again, with Liverpool having a game in hand over us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I can't call it. I'm not saying Villa. We're not missing out. We're getting Europe. I want the fucking away days at some fucking Czech Republic team in the second division next year.
FC Cludge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm dying for it.
It's hard to predict. In answer to Aki's question, who do you think gets relegated? I mean, early on, our things have changed so much. I mean, it's gone from Southampton, Bournemouth, Wolves. I still think Southampton are pretty much surefire to go down.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Forest on form have got to be the other one, and then it's between Leicester and Everton. Everton look like they got a bit of a bounce through Dyche, but they're not picking up any wins.
I think Leeds.
Yeah.
I really think Leeds. They can't. I think their new manager seems clueless as well. I was talking to a Leeds fan, a mate of mine, and we saw the lineup when they announced it the other day, and they've got their best players like that Wilfred Nonto and Sinistera on the bench. They're 2 best players, and they've got him on the bench, and I have no idea why. And then you just look, and they just can't create anything. They create nothing. The best option is Patrick Bamford, on fuck's sake. He's useless. He's like less than fucking...
Yeah.
What did we call Weghorst?
Arthritis Haaland.
Thank you. He's worse than that.
Yeah.
So I can't see it.
Leeds always surprise. Yeah. Leeds always surprise you, though. I mean, obviously, not so long ago they got slapped by Liverpool. You know, and they've got defeats in them, but they can win games and they can pull it out at the end. Aiden's absolutely gone. Leeds can pull out results. Aki, I'm assuming by your comment, then that makes you a Leeds fan. Sam Morrow, welcome in. Love your pod, boys. Where do you think Newcastle will finish? I think you've made a massive statement today. I think you've given yourself a real shot of that top 4. I think 3rd or 4th, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think I'd argue that Newcastle look the stronger team between us and you at the moment, I have to say. And I hate to say it. You know, there was a point where I was so confident in United, I thought we had 3rd nailed on, but I just don't have that confidence in us anymore. Yeah. What do you boys think? Where do you think Newcastle will finish? Aiden's lost his head. You just lost your head at that scoliosis Haaland comment.
You literally, it's fucking done me. I'm fucking written off. It just come out of nowhere. Fucking roaring.
Ben, thankfully, I think West Ham are safe now, but their last 2 games of the season are Leeds and Leicester. Yeah, fruity games. I think you're right that West Ham, they've pulled off 3 wins in the last 5, 10 points out of a possible 15. When you're in a relegation fight, that's all you need to do, isn't it? Just get fucking wins over the line.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think West Ham are safe now.
Yeah, West Ham are definitely safe.
Yeah.
100%.
Chelsea still haven't picked up a win, but I think they're going to be safe. Big changes needed for them next season. They need to get a good manager. That's another thing we didn't really talk about, actually, is Chelsea's manager race this week. There's been plenty of updates. I believe that Nagelsmann is now out of the race for whatever reason that is. And Pochettino has become the favourite.
Wow.
So,
what a great manager he'll be for 6 weeks.
I honestly think Pochettino is slept on as a manager. I think, look at Spurs. It's only got worse for them since he left. Like, I know it's Spurs we're talking about, and Conte's gone there. Mourinho's gone there. Serial career winners and not won anything. So I think Pochettino could do very well. He's been able to manage personalities at PSG. I think he'll be good for them. I think it's the rivalry that will just make them Tottenham and Chelsea games a little bit spicier. But I'd have him.
Oh, absolutely. I think Chelsea fans would be saying the same, but it's a fact of that. I think Pochettino won't go to a club who's not in Europe. He wants that European night, doesn't he? Every like Champions League, probably even settle for Europa. But Chelsea aren't even looking to get in the Europa Conference.
But all they've got is
Pochettino's going to settle for that.
All they've got. Well, what else has he got to rely on now? He hasn't got anything.
What do you mean? What job wise?
Yeah, unless the rumours are true that Ancelotti's leaving Real Madrid and he could step into that role. I think Pochettino will look at the talent he's got in that team and know that he's got no European football to distract him and say, I can turn this team into a, I can put this team in the top 6 next year, get us European football.
Any manager that comes in has got to say to the board, I will decide who I want to bring in.
Yeah,
leave me alone to do what I want to do.
I need another 600 million.
Yeah.
Could well do, but you've just got to let the manager choose the players he wants for his system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any merit in a chairman going in and say, hey, we've just signed you this player. Fucking great. I want to play an asymmetric 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And I don't play a right winger. Why the fuck have you bought me a right winger?
And mate, as a United fan, the last, all my life, but the last 10 years, if it's taught me anything, that you need to back managers with the players that they want, not what the club wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sam Morrell, I think Southampton, Leeds and Forest will go down. Would be a shame to see Southampton go, but they've been dreadful. Hey, but there's a possibility of a Southampton-Portsmouth derby next season, so that's a winner.
Positives.
Aki, as a Leeds fan, I put £1 every season for Man United to be relegated at about 1,500 to 1. This season, I cashed it in for £4 about 7 games in. Thanks for the pint, Ollie. There you go. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Love that.
Dave Earl, as a Toon fan, if I told you at the start of the season would finish top 10, I'd have snapped your arm off for it. Now we're within a shout of top 4. Spot on.
Wild.
Yeah, Yeah. You're absolutely right. I think everyone expected Newcastle to improve on what they'd done. And I think even getting Europa Conference League or Europa League was but a pipe dream at this stage. But imagine getting Champions League football, that the players that can attract, obviously the money isn't a factor, but that elevates Newcastle to a new level. And if they get Champions League football, then be excited. Joe Willock for England. Now, let's just have a dedicated section talking about that Joe Willock assist today. Oh my God. I think it was the third goal.
I didn't see it.
Oh my God. Was
it good?
It was Cancelo times 10. It was such a good ball.
Was that the outside of the foot one?
Yeah. I was like, it all happened so quickly. I was like, I see the goal go in and I was like, no, all credit goes to Willock there for that assist. That was unreal. Assist of the season, hands down. Yeah. If you get a chance, watch it on the go now and we'll see your live reaction to that assist. It was impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. Perfect pace on the ball, weight of the ball, just perfect. Dan Burn for England too, Dave. Hey, let's not get Luke Shaw out of the fold just yet. Maybe as a backup. It still surprises me that he's even a left back, the 6'6" motherfucker. Yeah, unreal, Sam. Absolutely unreal. Yeah, Willock is probably one of your best players. He's really come out of his shell. How does that make you feel, Sean, as an Arsenal fan? Do you think you'd let him go too soon, or do you?
No, I think we got good money for him at a time where we needed money.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like we loaned him to Newcastle for I think 6 months. I think we loaned him from January to the end of the season, and he had such a great purple patch of season for Newcastle that I think he had maybe 2 years left on his deal. If we didn't sell him, he wasn't going to sign a new deal because we weren't giving him first team football.
Yeah.
And we play Odegaard in this position, which arguably is a better player. So,
my,
that was good, wasn't it?
That's sheer class. That is. That's unreal.
That's
what a ball. Sorry, boys. Fucking hell.
No, I love that.
Oh my. Yeah, that's a great ball. That is pinpoint.
So yeah, I think the gaps are forming for that top four. I think Man United just need to try not to absolutely collapse in on themselves. No European football, as you know, we saw this week. The worst United performance under Ten Hag. I said at the time that was even worse than the Liverpool performance. Honestly, the 3-0 away to Sevilla, I was more confident about that one than I was getting a result today. But yeah, that was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
If you take away the De Gea mishap at the beginning,
I was going to say which one. There's three,
and did they all three of them lead to a goal?
All three of the goals were as a result of you can argue the first goal. I'm not really bothered. You can argue the first one between De Gea and Maguire.
No, that's De Gea all day long.
But the second one was De Gea just letting the ball go over his head somehow, not being on his line. And the third one, well, you saw that running out to his box, trying to clear it and just assist in the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, his touch controlled it for them, didn't they?
Yeah, a really bad De Gea performance, but we was really, really missing Bruno Fernandes in that game. He was suspended, of course, and we just had nothing going forward. Even you'd like to think, even without Bruno, you know, Rashford didn't start. You'd like to think we still had something, but no, both of our best attackers gone, and we just didn't produce anything. It was horrible. But it might be a blessing in disguise when the when the season running comes. You know, we've won a trophy this season. We're in another final, and we're possibly going to finish top four. That's a positive season for me. The only way I can see this as a negative season is not finishing in the top four. I can't see that happening, if I'm honest.
No, I think you're pretty nailed on that.
A few hard games coming up. We've got Spurs midweek, and then we've got an easy game next Sunday. So Villa at home. Yeah, I was waiting for that. But
Spurs midweek, that's an easy game. What are you on about?
Yeah, tough games. I think Tottenham always give us a game. Villa will give us a game. Revenge. We've beaten each other once this season.
Yes, we have.
So yeah,
this is the decider.
Yeah, you've not got your new manager bouts anymore, so
he's still fucking going with it, mate. He's not stopping. He's not stopping.
And yeah, I think we've also got a couple of other tough away games to play, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll move on swiftly then. A post that we put up midweek about who's been the best Premier League manager of the season caused a debate with myself and a couple of other people. So pictured just below Aidan there, you'll see who I think personally are the only three people in contention for this award. So you've got Unai Emery, Mikel Arteta, and De Zerbi of Brighton. Aidan, who do you think will be manager of the season as it stands?
I mean, as it stands...
Well, not who do you think it will be. Who would you pick?
Oh, who would I pick? I'd pick Unai every day. Obviously, I support my boy, but I think it's got to be... Oh, it's a tough one. Mm-hmm. It is a really tough one. See, if Arsenal bottle the league, a lot of people aren't going to vote for him to get it. They aren't, because they fucked up at the end. Mm-hmm. But still, for Arsenal to maybe come second, so close to City, is still a massive achievement from where Arsenal have been the past few years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then again, De Zerbi, he's come in and just done unreal things at Brighton. And then so's Unai. He's came in and saved us from a relegation battle and put us in the European challenge. So yeah, there's three pretty solid managers there. And I think, to be honest, it's a hard one to pick apart. I think... I don't know. I'd say Unai, because obviously I'd have to support Unai.
Ben Ray say Eddie Howe hasn't made the shortlist. Not in my head, anyway. These were just three that I picked out that I personally think should win it. He probably will make the shortlist. I don't know how many they do actually pick for the manager of the month. You'll have to tell me if you know. But Sean, what do you think, mate? Who would you pick?
I genuinely think that Mikel Arteta is the manager of the year. Aidan's right. If we bottle it, which we probably are, we're currently mid-bottle. If not already bottled. But I think that going from 5th last season, people expected us to do the same again. the signings that we made, people kind of went, "What's Zinchenko? What's Jesus? You know, you're not really going to press on from here. You need X, Y, and Z. You need a Declan Rice type of midfielder. We do need a Declan Rice midfielder. I will happily take Declan Rice, but nobody expected us to be in this position, and for that reason, I think, De Zerbi's had a great season. Again, nobody expected him to do what he's doing, and arguably thought that Brighton would just trail off and disappear off into the sunset in a few years. I think that Mikel Arteta deserves Manager of the Year.
Even with second.
Even with second, honestly, I think that what he's done, he's changed the whole culture of the club in 3 seasons. We've gone from being baited every week with Arsenal Fan TV. We've been Banter FC for 6 years. It was toxic. And you know, fans are enjoying watching Arsenal play again. I mean, the last few years of Arsene Wenger's reign were dire football. Honestly, it was so hard to watch. It just looked like nobody knew how to play football, but we'd somehow scrape wins. We look so confident, and that's, you know, the connection between the fans and the players, the fans and the club, and that's something that Arteta's brought.
Yeah.
So yeah, Arteta all day for me.
I know this is Premier League Manager of the month, Manager of the season, but what about if Pep was to win a treble?
I think he is expected to win every trophy that is on offer.
It is. If he pulls off the treble, mate, I think people will sway towards that.
Yeah,
I really do.
Probably.
I feel sick talking about a Man City treble, but I have to ask the question.
Which is fair. Yeah, which I think it would be fair. You know what I mean? If you win the treble, then I mean you can't really say there's a better manager. Someone who finished second or someone who got Villa into top 7. Do you know what I mean?
I got questioned.
The Champions League and FA Cup.
I got questioned by a friend of mine because my comment on this was, for me, if Arsenal don't win the league, from them 3, it would be Unai. I understand why the Newcastle fans are saying Eddie Howe. All for very similar arguments. Like, Brighton have brought in a great manager, astute signings. They've played really well, and they're higher than everyone thought they would be. Aston Villa have done it without the signings. I don't think they've made no notable signings since Unai's been there. They've gone from 17th. They've made the decision to sack Gerrard when they sat 17th in the table, and they're very possibly playing European football next season. You know, that's a climbing of 10 to 11 places potentially.
Yeah.
Whereas Arsenal, Arteta's been there for quite some time. He's had a lot spent. Was it 220 million in one window as well? I know, obviously, you've shipped some people out. It was when you bought, was it Vieira and that, when you spent 220 million in one go?
I know, we signed him this season. We signed Ben White, Ramsdale, Odegaard in one window, didn't we? Tomiyasu.
Yeah. So I think the expectation was there a little bit more for Arsenal to push into the top 4. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal have certainly done better than people expected them to. But that's why you put them in the Manager of the Month, isn't it? Like, Unai wouldn't be there unless he'd done better things for Aston Villa than they expected. De Zerbi as well. So I think for me, it has to be Arteta if you win the league. If you don't win the league, then it would have to go to someone else, I think. Maybe Pep if they get the treble, or Unai if not. It will be an interesting one to see. Guys, in the comments, let us know who you'd pick for Manager of the Season based on what you see now. And we'll probably revisit that at the end of the season when the nominations come out.
Yeah, man.
Is there anyone from that list, that short list, that I missed? If you had to pick 5 on the short list, would it be them 3 plus 2 others? Anyone?
Arteta, De Zerbi,
Emery.
Again, Pep if he wins it. Wins the treble.
Pep. I'd probably go Ten Hag.
Yeah, again, similar thing. He's given the connect between the fans and the club back again in a way.
He's come in and he's not taking any nonsense. Like, he's actually got the club playing. He's got the players playing how they should be, and You've not made any massive signings. Obviously, Casemiro was a lot, but
Yeah,
oh, you have actually, yeah, Anthony as well.
Anthony.
Yeah. Okay, you spent a bit, but still, it's
So yeah, it was Malacia,
Yeah,
Anthony, Casemiro in the summer, Martinez, and then they've transformed the team. But then January was quiet. Butland, big Weghorst.
Yeah, I'd probably still go Ten Hag. I think he's done fucking unbelievable things at United, and it's got to be. Yeah, he's got to be in there for the top 5.
I'd say yeah, but probably 5th. Like I don't think.
Yeah. He's not.
I'd be interested to know what goals he was set at the beginning of the season. I think top 4 must have been one of them goals, and he's not assured it. So, you know, it's not without doubt at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, potentially. That's it then. Final little story of the night. I mean, if you've not seen it before now, Wrexham's Hollywood story. So Wrexham, after a 15-year break, are back in the English Football League. They won the National League after beating some other team. Let me just load it up.
Wood.
Who?
Who Wrexham played the other day when they got promoted?
Boreham Wood. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
In a league where only the top gets automatically promoted and then it goes through to playoffs. So Notts County are not guaranteed promotion currently. They've got 106 points with a game to go, which is just baffling, considering that next below them is Chesterfield on 81 points. So they're 25 points and 29 points, respectively, clear at the top of the table. And there's a chance they lose in a one-off game over 2 legs.
That's fucking awful, that is.
Do you think
Shocking.
that's unfair, or do you think that's
wildly unfair? So every football league, you got 3 that go down in the Premier League, you got 3 that go down in the Championship, 3 that go down in League One, but only 2 that go down in League Two. I just don't think it gives enough opportunities for lower division clubs to come back into the Football League.
Mm-hmm.
I always think, and I've said it for years, I said it the year that Lincoln were trying to get up, and they had that, what was he called, Matt Reed, that enormous
Big Matt Reed. Yeah.
Refrigerator. Yeah, he was a proper unga bunga. But to have 2 teams, only 2 teams go down from League Two, doesn't give any opportunities. And I know for clubs that are in the Vanarama, they're all struggling financially. So sometimes going up to come down again, you're bringing in a lot of debt when you come back down. So it could perhaps go the other way and cripple your club. But yeah, when you see Notts County with 106 points potentially not go up, it's just not fair. Just send Crawley down or Harrogate down or something. They're prepared for it.
Yeah, I think it might be linked with something that you say. Actually, I'm certainly no football financial expert, but yeah, sending League Two clubs down to the National League is certainly bad for money for a club. So maybe it's linked with that. Who knows? But like you say, Notts County, I think that's just relatively unlucky. You know, when Liverpool can not win a league with 99 points.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly the same as what we're talking about here. Miles ahead above everyone else, but unfortunately second and first is first.
Yeah.
It's
that's true.
it is unfortunate for Notts County, but yeah, Wrexham are a strange one because football, you know, what are they called? Football purists won't be fans of Wrexham in their current era just because of they're a bit social media-y, aren't they? They're a bit it's all a bit strange. It's a bit Ted Lasso, if you like. But Wrexham do have a history. You know, they're not just there to make up the numbers. Wrexham are a big club compared to some of the others in that league. 15 years without being in the English Football League, and also what is it? Wasn't they on the brink of collapse not so long ago before they came in?
Reynolds and
McElhenney
Rob came and bought it.
McElhenney.
That one.
I say his name. That's why I just called him Rob.
Ryan and Rob. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Ben Foster, obviously, he's a bit of a big social media presence now with his YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to seeing the GoPro footage of the pitch invasion.
Yeah.
And I think Robson Kanu has also offered to play for free and donate his wages to charity.
Yeah.
So I think they get some experienced names in. They could start to climb up the tables potentially. What do you boys think of that? Do you think they're a very modern team?
So
I'd love to see him.
Yeah, I had a really good chat with a group of my friends the other day about this, and they said that they didn't really like the finances that were pumped into it. But Ryan and Rob paid £2 million for the club. They got £1 million for the Disney Plus series that they did. They signed a sponsorship with TikTok. They trebled their season tickets because of the media attention. Yeah, they've probably spent a lot, but they've probably recouped quite a massive chunk of that.
Yeah, 100%.
To be where they are now, and yeah, get them in League Two, and in 5 years' time they'll be playing Chelsea in League One. And maybe they'll get promoted.
The thing is with that as well, obviously I don't see it week in, week out, but it doesn't appear that they're not present. It seems like they are there. Yeah. They go into games, they're involved with the fans and the club and the players, and they're
like pretty much every week, aren't they?
Considering as a Man United fan, we've both got American owners, and our owners had to have the offside rule explained to them.
Ryan Reynolds is Canadian.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
they're all the fucking same.
Tomato.
Yeah, fucking hell. From Texas to Toronto, it's all the same.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, ice hockey's more of a thing in Canada, right? And the fact that he's present all the time, he's meeting up with the fans, and he's bringing Paul Rudd. If Paul Rudd starts going to more Wrexham games, I might have to start switching my allegiance because I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah. I do as well. I've got a Ant-Man pop I need him to sign, so I might pop down to Wales at some point.
Yeah, I think they've got potential to shoot up the leagues, but I think the Championship's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, that's the biggest payday in world football, isn't it? The Championship to the Premier League.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. So, yeah, exciting times. Just, excuse me for yawning, just on the structure of promotion and relegation, I didn't really do much research into this before. I probably should have done, but have you heard about League One in France?
No.
They are reducing their league by 2 teams.
Oh, wow. What?
So more people are going to be getting relegated this season. Let me just see if I can find something about it. And it was something to do with increasing the revenue. So, yeah, there is now going to be 4 teams relegated from League One and only 2 getting promoted from League Two, and they're going to make it 18 teams in League One. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but they reckon it just means that less teams to split the revenue between.
What a decision to make midway through the season. Imagine if you're the manager of a League Two team.
I don't know if it was a midway through the season decision, though.
But imagine gambling, for example, and going for some real big experience, high-profile players on the off chance that you can get promoted. You currently sat in 3rd place, and you don't make the promotion.
Well, yeah,
that'd be huge.
It's just it's bizarre, that is.
Yeah,
I've not heard anything about it.
I didn't.
I've only recently heard it, so I think it works the same for below. Then, obviously, I don't really know any French teams below then, because if that's a farmers' league, then what the hell's League Two? Bloody milkmaids league or something. I don't know. What's below a farmer on a farm? Chickens.
Peasants.
Yeah, peasants.
Yeah, so it's a strange decision. I mean, the first question that people ask is, well, surely if there's less games, that's less games, less television, money. But I don't know how it works, but they've made that decision. It'll be interesting to see when they made that decision. But yeah, just thought I'd throw that one out there because I've not heard it until this week.
Yeah, that's mental, that is.
The French FA are going, PSG are getting too tired and they can't compete in the Champions League. We'll have to get rid of 2 games.
Yeah,
It's a 4 games actually, isn't it?
it'll be 4 games overall.
I'm sure they said that, but in more of a French accent.
Yeah.
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu.
Cue Joey Barton.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Please, no one do the Joey Barton, please.
I'll do a Joey Barton and headbutt someone. That just about covers it for this week then, boys. I think that's covered all the topics off that we wanted to talk about, unless I've missed anything. Any other business, as they say in the trade?
I don't think so, mate.
Spurs fans walking out at 25 minutes. That was a nice treat.
Did they?
Yeah.
25 minutes they started walking out.
Wouldn't you at 5-0?
Yeah.
It's a long old trip from Newcastle to London, mate.
I'm loyal to my team, mate. Oh, yeah. Oh, if it was in Newcastle, I might be a little bit more.
I paid for my seat. I'm taking it with me.
Yeah, 100%.
On Twitter, I've retweeted on the Pundits page as well, but there was a young lad showing the passion at the United game. I can't remember, someone made a challenge and he was shouting, you could lip read very clearly, how is that not a fucking card, ref? And he was about 6 years old. So head over to the Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have a look at that.
Wow.
Ben says the wage bill for last season at Wrexham was 2.3 million. Is that true? That can't be true.
Or what, a year?
No.
20. So that's what? If
2.3 million.
If that's 25 players, that's 100 grand a year each. That's probably feasible, actually. It's a lot for a National League team, but 100 grand a year.
Divided by
that's
52.
two grand a week.
£2 a week. Wow, it's quite plausible that really. Salford did it, didn't they? They signed Adam Rooney from Aberdeen when they were in the.
But that is a lot for a National League team. I think there's players at Peterborough United in League One that's on less than that.
Yeah.
Wow. You'd have to look at that wage bill.
I could mention Peterborough United in teams that have owners that live in America and don't care about their club. I could, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, if you're watching, Darrow, we love you.
I didn't say any names. Sean did. That's it then, boys. Mullin is on 5k a week. Yeah, that is pretty feasible. I'm wondering what Ben Foster's on. He's getting that YouTube money anyway. He doesn't need it.
Yeah. 5k a week
in the Vanarama. Fuck.
Yeah, that's probably quadrupled into next season if he stays, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
But it's probably like a Billy Sharp situation. He's good for that league, and then he'll get found out. I don't think there's too much of a difference though between League Two, and National League though.
No.
It's like the Championship to the Prem's a big step. League One to the Championship's a big step, but then everything else down there is pretty similar for me.
Yeah, because Lincoln did back to back, didn't they?
Yeah, the Cowleys.
That's right.
And now they've gone to absolute shit.
Cowleys, yeah. What did they go? Huddersfield, then Portsmouth, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're working now. I don't think they've got a job.
Oh, blimey.
Shame.
Grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. There might be some jobs coming up next year. Chelsea, for one. There you go. Who wants Mourinho and Pochettino?
The way they're playing, mate, I could get that job.
Foster's no salary, only bonuses and expenses. I see in the press conference that Ryan Reynolds come into the press conference and took his shirt, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, that's going on eBay. I work in show business. It's a tough time for us right now.
Yeah, he was like, give me your jersey. Give me your jersey.
That's bro. Right. As ever then, we'll wrap that up there. We've done some more filming for TikTok, as always, this week. So if you haven't done so already, head over to the TikTok. We're very, very close to 5,000 followers. So if you follow us already, maybe share it with your friends. Tell them to come and have a look at the content. We got some games, match predictions, all sort of stuff on there. So if you want to play along with the games, do that as well. YouTube video, Pretend 11 series. We filmed a new one today. So that'll be coming out on Wednesday. That is the underrated team of the season so far in the Prem. So another one you don't want to miss. That was an interesting one. Took 2 takes, though, because someone forgot to turn the microphone sources on. Guilty. And, yeah, we're exploring quite a few other ideas as well, what to do with the YouTube. We might be bringing another YouTube stream instead of a video coming up. But keep an eye out. If you want to keep up to date with everything, the best place to be is the community Discord. So if you've not joined that already, drop down to the description now. The Discord invite link is there. You're one click away from coming and chatting with us during the week about all things that's happening with football.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
That's about it, boys. Any last words before we wrap it up and go to bed for another lovely week at work? Yeah.
Watch out for Aiden's implosion on a sudden death. We love it.
Oh, yes.
I'll be on the TikTok. Oh my god.
There's more than one, but yeah, one of the TikToks we do is sudden death. So take it in turns to name certain things. And Aiden had a couple of stinkers, mate, didn't you? Bless you.
I'm not going to lie to you. Today has been a long day recording videos. I've had many meltdowns today, so
He's ready to leave after the first.
Well, this is your explicit language warning now. I fucking lost my shit in a lot of videos today, so enjoy it. Like, subscribe, follow, and share.
Exactly.
And turn your notifications on.
Thank you very much, boys, for coming as always. Ben, Dave, Sam, Wilco, put your nan in the bin. Everyone who came along to chat with us today, thank you very much, as always. We do appreciate you. We'll see you next week for the pod. And don't forget, check out the video Wednesday, 7 p.m. Peace out.
Ciao, guys.
Take up all the blame. Just tell me